All right. So, do you ever feel like you are not good enough or you fail before you even try? There's a lot of times where we struggle with our self doubt. But let's change that. How can we start overcoming our self doubt? And that's what I want to share with you all today how I overcame my self doubt and how you can too. So, there's a lot of times in my life, especially with, I will say, the thing I have a lot of self doubt with is in my relationships. I have a hard time connecting with other people when it's like a really uh, close friendship. I really struggle with self doubt of what they think of me. And I've recently overcome this though, because everybody faces self doubt, but it's how you handle it that makes a difference. So I want to kind of talk about what is it that causes our self doubt. Well, first thing can be we're comparing ourselves to others. We are looking at someone and we are thinking, man, if I could just be like that, then my life would be perfect. If I could just have that one thing, my life would be perfect. We could have the fear of failure or judgment. A lot of times it is just we are afraid of what other people are going to think of us. It's that we are afraid of people judging us and what we want to do. Another thing could just be negative self talk. Our brains could just manually use really negative words against us. So once I understood where doubt was coming from, I could start working to overcome it. And I had a mix of all three of these, but I think these three are the three things that happen the most with people. So, how do we start having uh, better self esteem? That is the goal. We want to have better self esteem. We don't want to be doubting ourselves as much. With us talking about how we have negative self talk, we need to build our confidence. And so, how do we start building confidence? We start by doing the small things, because if you don't have a lot of confidence and you try and do the big thing, then you're not going to be able to do it. It's like if you walk into a gym, you're a beginner, and instead of just starting with the bar on the bench, you jump straight to the 225. You can't do that. You need to start with the small things. You need to start making small wins. It could just be if you're having self doubts about fitness, it could just be setting a small goal like doing an extra push up a day. Start adding just one push up every single day. And another thing too is we are going to fail. When we are setting these things, the higher and higher we start trying to go, we're going to fail. But instead of fearing failure, we should not be fearing failure. We should not be ever thinking that we can't fail or everything falls apart. We need to start seeing it as a lesson. We need to be looking how every single mistake can teach us something valuable. What can you learn from that experience? Another thing too is just stop comparing yourself. When you start focusing on your journey instead of trying to measure up to others, your growth skyrockets because all you're thinking about is what is it that you want to do? What is your goals? Instead of trying to measure up with someone else, instead of trying to measure up with someone, you can start looking into your own interests. What do you want to build up to? What is the thing you want to work on? Of course, we need to be throwing in other things like we need to be having some way we're making money. We need to be taking care of our mental health. We need to be taking care of our physical health, but especially with mental health. I think this will help your mental health like extremely well because instead of you just being brought down because you got to live up to this other person's standards, you got to live up to where this person is. You are focusing on yourself. You have yourself to compare to, and when you have yourself to compare to, you're only comparing yourself to your past self. And most likely, if you are continuing to make growth, your past self is going to be less than the new version of you. Another thing, too, is doing positive self talk. A lot of times we have negative talks, but what we need to do is we need to manually just replace our negative thoughts We need to be doing affirmations. I know in the community nowadays, we look at affirmations kind of as this cringy thing, but affirmations do work, especially if you've ever read the book Psycho-Cybernetics. It talks about visualizations. It's about visualizing your success. If you're about to go into a certain situation, visualize that success. Visualize it going well. Instead of us always just being so targeted to, okay, this is what's going to happen if I fail. This is what's going to happen. We need to replace that negative talk with the successful visualization. Stop visualizing your failure, everything that could go wrong. Start visualizing if things could go right, this is what it is, and then you are going to feel a lot more confident about it. It sounds cheesy at first, but it definitely works. And then another thing too is a lot of times we have fear. When we do want to take that action, we have fear. But I want to share something with you because it's really helped me. Is because a lot of us, I don't know if it was just me or not, but I'm sure a lot of us don't know what the definition of courage is. A lot of us think courage is not having fear at all. Courage is having fear, but still doing it anyways. Still doing that thing anyways. We are still scared. Scare is a natural part of our body. Feeling. We feel scared, but we can still do the thing anyways. We can feel afraid, but still do it. So, even if you're scared, just start, because you're showing courage. A lot of us, we want to feel more courageous, but the best way to be courageous is by doing it while you're afraid. So, my life has changed a lot from just these steps, and it's helped in areas like confidence, fitness, and relationships. And I shared before that I have a lot of self-doubt with relationships. Well, I had a lot of self-doubts, but nowadays I am in the best place I can be the best place I think I can be right now with relationships. I have a very close group of friends and brothers, and I've started dating too, which was a big thing for me too, was because I had a lot of doubts about that, so I just stayed away from that entirely. But as I said before, have that courage, visualize it going right. I think that was the number one thing for me, is just visualize the success, visualize it going right. So I hope this video helps you guys. If you guys, I'm just plugging this in at the end of videos now, but I have a free fitness coaching if you guys want to have just a little bit of extra help in your fitness. It's completely free, and is the first link in the description below. Thank you guys all for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.